All right, everyone, and welcome back into the cave. This is episode number 23 as we continue to follow our Hartford Whalers on their quest, their trek, their journey towards a Stanley Cup championship. And oh, what a season it has been. The playoffs have totally rocked us. We are 14 games into this playoff season. Our fans love hockey, and we just keep on giving them more. We went 7 in round 1 with the New York Rangers. Okay, of course, one of our rivals. We went 7 in round 2 with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Heroes all over the board. All right, so far throughout the playoffs, we have seen big goals. Big goals from Pichek, Keller in round 1. How about Jimmy with a couple of goals in round 2? And Isaac Morgan, who didn't do much of anything in the regular season, coming up even bigger in round 2 against the Blue Jackets. He had 2 in Game 6. He had 2 in Game 7. And here we are now, getting ready to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in round 3. The Eastern Conference Finals are upon us. If we can escape this one, we go to the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, of course, our goal at the beginning of this entire exercise was to get this team into the playoffs, and we have done so. All right? We made very few moves throughout the season. All right, just the one move. We had that one trade. We sent Mr. Feddo to Buffalo. We got Aubie Kubel and Yoki Haru in return. They've played very well for us in the playoffs and, of course, towards the end of the regular season. And, of course, we have heard that Mr. Feddo has expressed some interest in possibly returning to the Whalers. So that could happen in the offseason, as he was basically towards the end of his contract anyway. So we'll see what happens there. But we have to pay attention and really focus on what's coming up here in this episode. In episode 23, we are taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we're going to see if we can put them away. Now, I'm thinking we can do this in 6. All right? I'm thinking we can do this in 6. I don't want to see another 7-game series. I do not want to see another 7-game series. We want to put these guys away early, okay? Now, we know what they've done to us in the regular season. We had a couple of close games, some overtimes. Of course, we had a shootout that went hours and hours, like I mentioned at the end of the last episode. But our team is better. They've been playing better in the playoffs than they have since we started this whole exercise. So let's see if we can get this done. Let's take a look over here on the right side, okay? As we mentioned in episode 22 at the end there, we took a look at our stats. These two teams are pretty even. The only place where they've kind of got us is right here on the penalty kill. Of course, our team leaders are neck and neck. They're 15 and 15. We also have 15 points from Pichek, so he's kind of right there as well. We do have to watch out for Kucherov in this series. Now, with our team being as awful as they are on the penalty kill, we know what he can do to us when they're on the power play. So it's important that we are shutting them down. Now, here's the real key to it all. They have one of the greatest goalies possibly in the history of the game. I might be being a little generous there, but he is very good, and that's Andrei Vasilevsky. He's going to be holding it down between the pipes for the Lightning probably throughout the series. But we will have Simo. Okay, now in the playoffs so far, she's played in 14 games, 8 wins, a .912 save percentage. We all saw the performance in Game 6 and 7 against Columbus. It was a bit of a struggle. All right? And we know I am known to pull that goalie and put in my backup. I did it in the middle of the regular season. Kind of gives a little jolt to the team. Kind of gives her a little jolt. So we're going to go with her. All right, we're going to see if we get worked. If we get worked in any one of these first 2 or 3 games, we could see DJ in his first playoff appearance. All right, it is time for game number 1. Now, we're going to do the same format as in episode 22. We're going to sim through some of these games. If we have a really exciting end to it, we're going to jump in. If it's a blowout, we're just going to sim out of it and move on to the next game. Let's go ahead into the Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay and see what we can do in Game 1 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. All right, so here we are, first period, 16 minutes to go. And Hagel scores early, putting the Lightning up 1-0. They go on the power play, and Kucherov scores. And I said that in the pregame. They go on the power play again, and we're going to kill this one off. Yes, we are. So it's 2-0 Tampa Bay, first period. Hartford now, and Blake Sant with the goal. So it's 2-1. Moser answers right back, 3-1 Tampa Bay. We knew this team was going to be aggressive, and we knew they were going to be shooting the puck, and they are definitely doing that. 16 shots here to our 4 in this first period. 2 minutes to go, 3-1. And yes, that's going to do it for the first period. All we got there for the Whale was a goal from Blake Sant. Hagel, Kucherov, and Moser score for Tampa Bay. Let's go ahead and jump right into period number 2. Shots are 17-6. Kelly scores. It's 3-2 Tampa Bay. All right. Now we're getting more shots now. Get aggressive, boys. Let's do this. And gals. All right. Tampa Bay scores on Hedman's goal. And yes, it is 4-2. Lots of scoring in this one. We knew this was going to happen. Tampa Bay, very offensive club. Connor Burns coming up big. And there we go. 5-on-4 power play. Tampa Bay scores. It's Gensel. 5-3. Simo, what's going on between the pipes here in the second period? We're down 5-3. Can we get another goal to make it 5-4 before the end of the period? And doesn't look like we will. All right, so that's going to do it for the second period. Kelly, Hedman, Burns, Gensel score in this second period. It's 5-3 Tampa Bay. Let's make our way inside the third, shall we? All right, so third period is underway. 18 minutes to go. 5-3 Tampa Bay. We go on the power play with about 16 minutes to go, and they're going to kill that off. So Tampa Bay doing a great job on their penalty kill. Okay, so here we continue on. Sorry if you heard my phone ring there. All right, so 7:55 to go in this one. They go on the power play, Tampa Bay, and we killed that one off. Yeah, we knew that was going to be trouble. We're in the third period. We are not going to pull this one out, folks. We are not going to pull this one out. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Game 1 is in the books, and we go down 5-3. Simo gave up 3 goals in the first period, 2 in the second. We tried to fight our way back into it and come away losers here in Tampa Bay, being beaten 5-3 by a very offensive, very score-happy Tampa Bay Lightning team. Here's our 3 stars. Pichek with 3 assists. Excellent job coming up with 3 points here in the Eastern Conference Finals Game 1. Hagel had a goal and an assist. Kucherov had that big power play goal and 2 assists to be our top star of this one. Tough loss. It's a tough Game 1 loss, but keep in mind, okay, we lost Game 1 to the Rangers. We lost Game 1 to Columbus. So anything can happen. We know with this Whalers team that anything can happen. Okay, so Game 1 is in the books. All right, we are down 1-0 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. We have Game 2 coming up at the Amalie Arena. All right, they got us in the areas where we thought they would. All right, they went on a power play. They scored. Kucherov, look at that. He had 3 points in that last game. He played very well. Pichek had 3 points. He's back on top of the team lead in points so far in the playoffs. Guys, we got to come up big here. All right, we got to really call out Simo as we head into Game 2. Did not play well in Game 1. 5 goals she gave up. I think that could be maybe the highest goal total of the season that she's given up. We know that this team is good. All right, we know that they can score. But we got to come up big on defense. We saw nothing in that last game that really showed that our defense was playing good. They had a lot of shots, and of course they had a lot of goals, right? All right, so let's go ahead and make our way inside the Amalie Arena. I'm not going to drag this out, folks. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit here and talk stats and this and that. All right? We're rolling the dice. We're keeping Simo in for game number 2. If she comes away with the victory, she stays in. If we lose game 2, she's out, and I will risk our Eastern Conference championship and our trip to the Stanley Cup Finals by taking out our best goalie. I got no problem doing it. All right, let's go ahead and sim this one. All right, so here we are, first period, and Kucherov scores on the power play. So we give them an early power play, but Connor Burns gets us a power play, and Pichek scores. So it's 2-1 Hartford. 15 minutes to go, first period. 15 minutes, it's actually 13 minutes. And we are back on the power play. We get nothing. Time ticking away, ticking away, ticking away. Simo's season could be ticking away. They go on the power play. And we got some penalties in this game. I swear and Gensel scores. I swear to God, and Pichek scores again. Coming up big. Whenever we sim, we get a lot of penalties. All right, if you jump back, watch some earlier episodes. We sim these games, and we get a lot of penalties. And typically, it's the same two guys. It's Feeney, and it's Swift. All right, so it's 3-2, end of the first period. All right, big goals from Connor on the power play. How about Pichek with 2 big goals? Kucherov and Gensel scored for Tampa Bay. We're heading into period number 2. Let's see if we can get another road win. In the playoffs. Period number 2 is now underway. We are 17 minutes to go. Shots are 13-12. So we're playing a little bit better defense. We're holding them off. All right, this is exactly what we want here in game number 2. About 10 minutes to go now. 3-2. Not a whole lot happening offensively. All right, pretty quiet second period. Yeah, nothing. Woo! How about some defense? Just keep playing defense. That's what's important. All right. So they gave me not much to talk about. Yeah, that's right. You kind of shut me up there in period number 2. All right, let's go ahead and move into period number 3. So we're making our way into period number 3. Team's up 3-2. Okay, before we get into that, again, season on the line for our goalie. Can she come up big, hold off this Lightning squad, and hold on to her spot in the lineup? All right, so 19 minutes to go here in period number 3. Hartford now, 23 shots. Tampa Bay with 25 shots. They're on the power play, and Kucherov scores again. Now, I've talked about this. Stop him. And Isamont with the score. So it's 4-3. Simo gives up 2 here in the third period. 10 minutes to go. We go on the power play. 5-on-3 power play. Give me something, folks. Anything. Nothing. They go on a power play, and they'll score. Watch this. Yes, of course they will. Hagel with the goal. It's 5-3, and this one is in the books. You know what? I can't believe what I'm seeing here out of this team. I cannot believe it. All right, so right there at the end with the empty netter, it was Cirelli. So they just kicked our ass in this one. 6-3. Game 2 goes to the Lightning. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot lose the Eastern Conference Finals in a sweep. Okay? Am I getting ahead of myself? If I am, I apologize. But we cannot lose in a sweep. All right? And she just lost her spot. You give up 5 goals. 5 goals in a playoff game? Yeah, it's over. All right? We're going to pop DJ into the net. He's going to be in between the pipes for game number 3 at home. At the mall, and we're going to see if maybe he can fire this team up. Maybe seeing him play a good game will get this team going. Cirelli with a goal. That was an empty netter. He gets the third. I mean, that's okay. Goal and an assist. How about Gensel? He had a goal and 2 assists. And Kucherov. Kucherov would be the MVP of the series right now. If it ended right now, he's the man. He has like 3 power play goals. All right. Everything I warned this team about. All right. Inside the dressing room, everything I warned them about, he's coming up big. He's definitely coming up big. So, folks, game number 2 is in the books. We are down 2-0. Going into game 3, we're going to see a little bit of a change. We're going to get Simo out. We're going to put DJ in and see if that changes anything. And maybe he's just a spark we need. All right, this team has not been playing good over the last couple of playoff games. Maybe he is the spark that we need. Okay, so here we are now. This is game number 3. We're getting ready to hopefully keep this thing going. Oh, Lord, we have been whooped completely in this series so far. All right. They've scored, 11 goals to like our 5. It's been a drubbing. We went to their home ice and they just whooped us. They're coming back to ours. We have got DJ. DJ will be between the pipes for the team. He has no playoff appearances, no wins, no saves. The man is fresh. All right. So we're going to put this in his hands. This is in his hands. Let's see what he can do here in game number 3. Okay, so here we are. 18 minutes left to go inside the mall. All right. Let's see if we can get something going. Kelly with the goal. He starts off. Atkinson answers right back on DJ. And then Albie Kubel with the goal. So it's 2-1. Feeney with the goal. It's 3-1. So we get a little bit of life here inside the mall. And the professor with the goal. It's 4-1. So we are just putting it on the net. Johansson is actually in goal. So there's no Vasilevsky. DJ gives up a goal. It's 4-2. Ladies and gentlemen, I also noticed after the last game that we're without the big guy Sergio. So and Gensel scores again. So it's 4-3 at the end of the first period unless they score again, which they don't. So as I was mentioning, Sergio is out of the lineup with back spasms, boo-hoo, all right? So that's actually forced our defense to kind of shift around a little bit. Feeney remains, actually he went back up to the top line, all right, to fill Sergio's spot with Kirkish, and then Paul and I believe Fagan, and then Fagan and Cody Delgado are on our third line. So let's go ahead into second period. This is a 4-3 game. So this has been high scoring, a lot of scoring. They're scoring faster than I can actually talk or than I can actually read. And then Point, he gets the goal. So it's 4-4 here in game number 3. 13 minutes to go. Chaffee scores. DJ, what are you doing, guy? Well, he's like, bro, I sat here all playoffs. I never got any time. Point scores at 6-4. So we came out hot. We were just firing away, and we get nothing going. Nothing going here the rest of this game so far. We got 5 minutes left to go in the second period. All right, we don't want to see this thing come to an end in this episode. We really don't, but it looks like it could. 47 seconds left in the second. And that's going to do it. So they collect 3 goals in that period. We get nothing. It's 6-4 on our home ice. Who's going to come out and defend our home ice? Somebody. All right, here we go. Now, period number 3. They start on the power play. We kill that one off. So good job there from the team. 17 minutes to go. Kelly says, I'll help you with the home ice advantage. Yes, it's 6-5. Somebody else score. Come on. Bring it on. 13 minutes to go here in this one. Power play for Hartford. Anybody. And we get nothing. Wow, Tampa Bay scores goals at will on this Whalers team. Look at this. They scored 6 goals again. That is 17 goals in 3 games against us. 4 minutes to go. Can somebody tie this thing up? Anybody tie it up? Anybody? And, okay. So we pulled Simo, who had a really good regular season. Had a couple of games struggling in the playoffs. We put in DJ. He gives up 6 goals in 2 periods. We tried to fight back, and we get nothing. Oh, Lord, we get nothing. And the team is now down 3-0. So you know, and I know, and everybody knows, that the chances of coming back from down 3-0 in any playoff series in any sport is pretty goddamn slim. But we'll give it a shot. We'll see what we can do, okay? This could be the shortest episode in my history. All right, if they lose this series, it could be a very short episode. And we would have to jump in and watch the Lightning skate off the winners because we'd have to. So that way our guys know what it looks like. And maybe next year they'll actually put on their big boy pants and girl pants, whatever you want to call it, and try to get a win. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 3 stars in this one. Oh, hey, we got a Whaler in there. How about that? 2 goals from Gensel, 1 assist and 3 hits. He's our 3rd star. Kelly is our 2nd star. He had 2 goals and an assist. And, of course, Point had 2 goals and 2 assists in this one. Again, a real disappointing loss. We put DJ in there, gave him a shot. He couldn't come up big. The team couldn't come up big. Nobody's coming up big. This has been bad. This has been awful. Our first trip to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, a lot of people would say, hey, but it's the first season and you made it there. Yes, that's true, but it's tough to do that. It's definitely tough to make it here. And why waste the chance, right? Why waste the chance? Okay, so let's go ahead, head back into the studio, and we'll get ready for game number 4. Okay, folks, game number 4 is upon us. Okay, we are down 3-0 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. I am almost wishing we played the Hurricanes. I really am. I mean, at least we would have known we were going to get our asses kicked, handed to us, whooped, whatever you want to say. This has been awful. This has been awful. It's been the most depressing episode I've done. It took 23 episodes for me to be completely pissed off. So we are down to this, folks. It comes down to this. 23 episodes, okay? We've played, God, I don't even know, 99 games. 99 games so far. So this would be game number 100 for the Hartford Whalers. That includes the regular season and the playoffs. All right, do we want to end it at a nice round 100 games? That would mean we sat here through 100 games in this exercise, in this season. So before we jump into this one, let's take a look at our team leaders. Of course, Kucherov, who has just been amazing so far throughout this series. On the power play especially, I mentioned that before the first game. I said it was going to be he was going to be the spark, and he has been for the Lightning. Of course, Pichek has played very well in this series. Couple of goals for him. He kind of sparked that first period goal-scoring onslaught in game number 3. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to keep the team fired up. Maybe it's because Sergio's not here. He's injured. I'm not really sure if that has anything to do with it, or it could have anything to do with it. But I don't know. Maybe he's a lot better than we thought he was, and he's the whole reason why we play good defense. So anyway, folks, we are here. It's game number 4. We're down 3-0. Vasilevsky will be between the pipes for the Lightning. He's got 11 wins in 16 appearances in the playoffs, .928 save percentage, and a 2.40 goals against average. Simo's back in between the pipes after the DJ experiment in game number 3. 16 games played, 8 wins, .904 save percentage, and a 2.86 goals against average. Now here's the thing. All right, maybe being pulled out of the lineup got something going in her head. Maybe. Who knows? I'm really hoping that it did and that this team can stay alive, because I don't really want to see this end without us raising the cup. I don't want to see it. I know you don't want to see it, and I don't want to see it. Because that means we go into the boring stuff like who gets contracts and who gets money, and I'm sorry, but none of them earned it. And I'd be tempted to get rid of a few names. I can tell you right now. I can definitely tell you right now. All right, so let's go ahead and make our way inside the Civic Center for tonight's Game 4 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay, so here we are. First period is underway. 18 minutes to go here in the first period. Rolling down the clock. Shots are in favor of Hartford here early in the game. Nothing happening score-wise. So it's like, do we want to go home? But we are home, so it'd be an easy ride. Kelly with the goal. It's 1-0 Hartford. I love it. Good way to start. Again, it would be an easy trip down 95 or 84, whatever the hell they have in Connecticut there. I'm from there, and I still don't understand the roads. But in fairness, I didn't really drive when I was living there. Okay, so not much happening here in the first period with the exception of the Mike Kelly goal. All right. So it's 1-0 at the end of the first period. Shots are 14-5 in favor of Hartford. We make our way into the second period very quickly. One thing I noticed, and I'm trying not to say it because I don't want to jinx us, but we have not put them on the power play. And right here with 13 minutes to go in the second period, they still haven't been on the power play in this game. We're down to about the midway point of the second. All right. Are we going to... Oh, they're on the power play, and Kucherov scores. See, every time I say that, boom, he scores. The man is a machine on the power play. It's 1-1 Hartford. I'm sorry, 1-1 Hartford. Yes, it's 1-1 Hartford. I'm that excited about all this. It's 1-1, all tied up as we make our way to the end of the second period. And yes, that's going to do it for the second period. All tied up on the Kucherov goal. So the two best players on the teams have scored in this one. Mike Kelly, of course, had that first period goal. Kucherov collects the second period power play goal. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been watching the last two if you've been watching this episode, this is the episode. All right, if you've been watching this episode, Kucherov has been killing us. And every time we put them on the power play, boom, he's putting it in the net. It doesn't matter if it's DJ. It doesn't matter if it's Simon. I don't care who's in the net. We got a freaking Big Bird in there for all I care. We're not stopping that man. He's good. He's that good in this game. So let's go ahead and make our way inside the third period. See if we can come away with something here. Can we get a win in the Eastern Conference Finals? At least one win. And Kucherov, will he score? No, he doesn't. Hey, we stopped him. Big round of applause. Lucic with the goal. Where did that come from? Lucic with a goal. Man, we picked that dude up in free agency, like mid-season after an injury. Kirkish with the goal, and we could have a game 5. We could have a game 5 in this one. 5 minutes to go here in the third period. And the fans here inside the mall, they're not going to let the Whalers aren't going to let it end in the mall. They're not. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we got to win. We got to win. So we're down 3 to win. 3 to win. We are down 3 to win. No. Well, we need to win 3. Sorry, that came out kind of weird. We're down 3-1 in the series. We win 3-1 in this one. All right. Excellent job by Simo. Like I said, sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge. All right. Put her on a bench. She comes in and she wins. All right. So that was huge right there. She gave up just the one goal. Of course, we had Lucic. How about Lucic with a goal? That was a shock. I haven't seen that guy like most of the year. Okay, so here's our 3 stars in this one. Kelly had a goal in the first period early. Of course, Lucic, I don't know how old that guy is, all right, but he's still rocking it here for the Whale. He had a goal and a hit in this one. And, of course, our top star is Simo. All right, I think she was pretty damn pissed off after game number 3 when I said, sit your ass on the bench. Comes back into this one. Only gives up 1 goal, had 36 stops. Great job, .972 save percentage. So here in game 4, we stay alive. Somehow we stay alive. And this team is going to force a game 5. They force a game 5, all right? So let's see if we can, maybe we can get something done here against the Lightning in game number 5. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. Had a little bit of a text message there. It just keeps going off. Anyway, good game from Moran, Lucic, Kelly. Let's go ahead and make our way back into the studio and take a look at game number 5. Okay, folks, so I just went, F it. I pressed a button and we are into game number 5. Simo is between the pipes. Vasilevsky is in between the pipes for Tampa Bay. So you got the two best goalies so far in the playoffs are in the net. Hagel scores early in this one. It's 1-0. All right. And 9 minutes to go here in the first. Shots are 9-4 in favor of Tampa Bay. Chernak scores. It's 2-0 here in Tampa Bay. They go on the power play. Kucherov's going to score. No, he doesn't. I just get out there and say it ahead of time now. Oh, Kucherov's going to score. All right, 5-on-4 power play here. 1 minute to go in the period. We stopped that one. So first period is over here in game number 5. It's 2-0 Tampa Bay. We have seen zero signs of life from anyone on the Whalers. They don't play well on the road. They just don't. They don't. Okay, so here we are in the second period here in game number 5. 17 minutes to go in this one. Gergensen scores. If we come back in this, it's going to be a freaking miracle. Isaac with the goal. It's 3-1. He puts that one past Vasilevsky. That's right. 5-on-4 power play. Anybody? No, because we don't score on the power play. We are the Whalers. Right. Excellent job there. Nothing happening. Chaffee scores. Mitchell. I think it's Mitchell. Oh, and it's Keller making it 4-2. 6 minutes to go in this one. Killer says, I don't want to go home, all right? I like it here. Killer, we all know you want to go play golf. We all know you want to head out to the desert as soon as this is over. 50 seconds left to go here in second period, and it's 4-2. It's 4-2, folks. All right, let's see if we can get a goal. If it's 4-3 with about 3-4 minutes left, we'll jump in. Let's just we'll say that now. So I got to pick up the controller here. All right, 4-2. Third period. Who's it going to be? Are we going to get a goal? Don't let Kucherov score on this power play. Thank you very much. And then Cirelli scores. So it's 5-2. They go on the power play. No goals on the power play. No goals on the power play. Excellent job there. Come on, somebody score. We're going to lose. We're going to lose. Mike, you're so negative. Point scores at 6-2. They've scored Feeney scored. They have scored 24 goals in this series. I don't know, 22 goals or some stupid shit like that. The professor scores at 6-4. 5 minutes to go. Somebody score. Somebody score. Make it so we can actually see some hockey in this series. Oh, I went quiet. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So I just couldn't. I was going to jump in and so we could see our team shake hands and cry in their beer, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. All right. It's over. It's over. We went all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. All right. And we lost 4-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team that shredded us basically throughout the regular season. And I'm really not surprised that it went down the way that it did. I'm a little disappointed that we gave up as many goals as we did. All right. Look, I don't even want to talk about the performance in the Eastern Conference Finals from our best goalie. I don't know if anyone was paying attention, but she gave up, oh boy, I want to say 23 goals in this series. 23 goals in this series. Yeah, I don't think she gave up 12 goals, 13 goals in the last series, and that went 7 games. This team destroyed us. Absolutely destroyed us. So here's the 3 stars, and deservedly so. There should not be any green on this board, because if there was, I would be stunned. Stunned. Atkinson, he had 2 assists. Cirelli had a goal, and then, of course, Hagel had a goal and 2 assists in this one. So that's just going to do it for me. I'm not going to stick around here inside the game here. We're going to make our way to the season-ending screen, and we'll have a little chat there. All right, so here we are. We've made it through the simulation, and we are at the draft. All right, we're getting close to the draft. Taking a look over here on the right side, you can see that Tampa Bay came away with the Stanley Cup. So at least if we were going to get our asses kicked, we got our asses kicked by the best. Excellent job there. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning. on that Stanley Cup championship. Now, before we head out of episode number 23, we're going to take a look at our team leaders. And then, of course, we're going to take a look and see who's looking towards a contract, which we'll kind of look into in episode 24. We'll have the draft. We'll have some signings and some other things. So let's go ahead and take a look at our stats for the year. All right, so this is how we finished the year with a total of 95 points. We had 43 wins, 30 losses, 9 overtime losses, 34 regulation wins, regulation plus overtime wins, 42. We had a 57.9 point percentage. We scored 239 goals as a team. That's not a whole lot, but it was enough to get us into the playoffs. 2.91 goals for per game. And, of course, goals against, we gave up 249. So kind of balanced. All right, so here is our regular season stats. Of course, games played, that went to Henry Jokiharju. Of course, that was between his time with Buffalo and the Whalers. All right. Goals goes to Mike Kelly. He's the Whalers leader in goals for the season. He had 38 goals in 80 games played. Assists, Mike Kelly, 57 assists in 80 games played. You can also see right here, if you just kind of look down the line, I'm leaving it up there, but of course David had 40 assists. Jacob had 37 assists. Braden with 34 assists, so a lot of action there. Goals leaders, you see Pichek and the Professor, they both had 25. Walker came on strong at the end of the season. In 69 games, Connor Burns had 15 goals. Our points leader was Mike Kelly for the season. He had a total of 95 points, so excellent season from him. Here's our plus minus. For those of you who don't know what that means, well, that just means are you good or are you bad? Basically, are you on the ice more for us scoring or them scoring? Yeah, that might be the way to explain it. I don't know. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, whatever. Plus minus, it's a good column, though. Mike Kelly with a plus minus of 19. Gavin Kirkish, plus minus of 14. I'd love to see it more in the 20s, but good job there. The Professor with 8. Sergio with 7. Jokiharju with 4. Here's where it gets struggle, all right? Braden was a minus 17. Swift was a minus 14. Morgan was a minus 13. That's going to have some effect. Keller, a minus 9. He didn't spend a whole lot of time on the ice. Let's take a look at penalty minutes. Penalty minutes. Greg Swift, 114 penalty minutes. Great job there from him. Of course, Darren had 99. Fagan had 80. The Killer had 73. So a lot of penalty minutes for this squad. Shots, Sergio, a defenseman, 241 shots. Aggressive shooter. Of course, only had 14 goals. So not much for him there. Shooting percentage, Mike Kelly with an 18%. Game-winning goals. Our game-winning goal scorer was the Professor. He had 8 game-winning goals this year. Power play goals. We struggled on the power play this year, but our leading scorer on power play goals was Mike Kelly. He had 9. Power play points, Kelly with 17. Shorthanded goals, that goes to Mike Kelly. He had 2. Swift also had 2. Shorthanded points, Greg Swift, 4. Time on the ice, that has to be a defenseman, right, Sergio, maybe? Yeah, 26-36 total minutes. Sergio with 2,181 total minutes. 241 shots and 14 goals, so pretty good year for him. Face-offs won. Mike Kelly, 1,501. Almost 800 more than Braden. Face-offs taken, yeah, a shit ton more. Percentage, Jacob, 57.4. Here we go. Here's a fun column. How about hits? Most hits on the year, Mike Kelly, 165. Pichek with 137. Let's see, defensively, blocked shots, Sergio, 126. Giveaways, Kirkish with 71. Takeaways, Kelly with 126. Fights, there we go. 12 fights for Darren Paul. Greg Swift with 10 fights. That's where we're going to leave it here on the stats. You can kind of see very not so balanced. Mike Kelly had a lot of those offensive categories. Pichek was kind of right there with him. Also the Professor. So I think we could be looking at our top line for the next season. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our contracts and who is actually going to need to be re-signed. Who's going to need to be re-signed for the next year? This is going to show us right here. All right. These are our 3 players that are actually under contract. Mike Kelly, Pichek, and the Professor. Everyone else is going to be asking. Sergio, Kirkish, Walker, Paul, Burns, Sant, Swift, Fagan, Lamprey, Morgan, Delgado. Right, we didn't see much of him, but he'll be asking for some money. Keller. Feeney is an unrestricted free agent. So RFA means we could probably lock them up or make an offer before they go out looking. Feeney's going to be going. He'll be looking, and he'll probably be moving on because somebody's going to give him a bag. Somebody's going to give him a bag for sure. Jimmy will get a bag, all right? He had a good season. We take a look at Jimmy's stats on the year. 80 games played, 15 goals, 28 assists, 44 penalty minutes. The thing to keep in mind is he was a top 9, okay? So he moved around. He actually spent a lot of time on the second and a lot of time on the third lines. So I think he's going to be one that we try to lock down before he gets to free agency. And based on playoff performance, I think we try to hold on to Feeney. Abi Kubel, Yoki Haru, they could probably make their way out. Thank you very much. But I think Feeney and Jimmy will have to lock in, and then we'll kind of take a look and see who else stays from our RFAs when we get into the contract phase. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and do it here for episode number 23. We are getting close to episode number 25. All right, so exciting stuff. Episode number 25 will actually kick off the beginning of the next season. I'll do a brief episode 24. We'll look into the contract, see who's going to sign, how long they're going to stay. We'll make our first draft pick as a team. That's going to be really exciting stuff. All right, and then we'll gear ourselves up for the next season. So fun little experiment here. 23 episodes sees us through the preseason, through the regular season, and of course a very brief, very quick jaunt through the Eastern Conference Finals. Sees us lose in 5 games and sees our best goalie get destroyed. But you know what? She didn't have a whole lot of help either. All right, we did score, but we didn't play very good defense. So I think it's a team loss all the way around. But it is time to rebuild, just like in life. Times come when it's time to rebuild, and management has to kind of get used to it, right? So if you're listening, you know what I'm talking about. Things change, people move around, and things just happen. And I'm sorry if I repeat myself, but I do that a lot. Pop. Anyway, thank you for joining us here in episode number 23. Number 24 will be coming your way shortly. And again, that'll be a lot of boring shit. We're going to be focusing on contracts, draft picks, those kind of things. So the season is over. We're moving on, but we're excited to be moving on with some hope. We saw an Eastern Conference Finals, and it's time to move on. So again, thank you for joining me inside the cave. Very exciting stuff. I'll see you next time. Make sure to push that like, that subscribe, leave some comments, and we'll see you next time inside the cave.